So something you might see is the term subject-verb agreement. And it sounds horrible, doesn't it? But it really isn't. So we've already described that the subject of a sentence is the thing that does the action. And the action is a verb. And I'm sure you've noticed by now sometimes that we have to do something called conjugation. Have you come across this term? So conjugation is when we change the verb in some way depending on who's doing the action and the tense and various other rules. Okay, so the relevant part when we're talking about subject-verb agreement is some of these rules only apply to a certain subject. They might just apply to the first person. They might just apply to the third person singular. So what do I mean by this? Well, rules that just apply to the first person is things like saying I am rather than saying he is. Because I is the first person, I am. We'd say you are in the second person. We'd say he, she, it is in the third person. So when we're talking about subject-verb agreement, all we're saying is make sure you use the right form of the verb. Okay, so when you look at these tables, it will give an I, you, he, she, it, we, you, they form. It might talk about first person singular, second person singular if it's a wordy textbook, but we need to make sure they agree. And when we're carrying out conjugation, when we're finding the right form of the verb to use, just make sure that you've thought about the subject. So I am, you are, he, she, it is, for example. Or with basic regular verbs, we normally only change the third person singular, the he, she, it form. So I play, you play, but he, she, it plays. We have to make sure that the subject and the verb agree and use whatever rule is appropriate for that verb. Hope that makes sense.